Hey everyone, welcome to this Saturday session. This is Edwin Olvera from edwinolvera.com, aka the Successful Freelance Dancer. Saturday session is with Cassie Boblittt. She's the owner of Mindful Movement and a Cirque Theater Performer. Cassie and I, we met less than 6 months ago when I was traveling throughout the Southeast on behalf of Pilabolus. I taught master classes in creativity, partnering, and also group collaboration. Afterwards, Cassie and I spoke about doing two collaborations together. One, the interview, and two, my Connect Weekend Intensive is about performance partnering play, which is going to be happening in April, and Cassie's the host of it. So thanks, Cassie, for doing that. What a wonderful story that you're going to hear, which is Cassie's life on being a veteran of the Army, also a semi-professional basketball player, and most recently, she is a teacher for VEToga, which is a program that helps get military veterans into becoming yoga teachers, which then in return, they can go to their communities and teach yoga to other veterans and other family members. I hope you enjoyed this interview. Please make sure to leave comments down below, to share it on social media with others, friends, families, and fellow artists. And stay tuned for the event that's going to be happening. Again, it's Connect. It's going to be going on in April, and you'll find more information about that on Cassie's website, which is mindful-movement.fit. Be well. Cassie, thanks for your time, and enjoy the wonderful interview. When is the very first time maybe you, or even your parents realized that you were going to be a mover?
Well, I've actually enjoyed some form of movement my entire life. Younger, I was into sports. I was always an athlete. And I went on to play 3 college sports and then played semi-professional basketball in Puerto Rico. And then it wasn't until about 5 years ago that my daughter got into circus arts, and she's really into theater. And through her love, I developed my own passion for the circus arts.
Wow.
Movement.
Yeah. When you were doing the movement, when I mean like physical movement, like you, when I was younger, before I got into any of this dancing, I did track, cross country, wrestling. I wasn't good at it, but I tried. And I was good at the physical, like the running and the lifting. I did lightweight bodybuilding. I did powerlifting. So it's really interesting how those movement mechanics then transfer over into other forms of movement, like circus arts and everything else. So how did you get into the basketball stuff, though? Like, when did you find that you were, got semi-pro is pretty big.
Yeah, it was actually pretty interesting. My story, as early as middle school, I played basketball, and then I went on and played in high school. And actually, a couple years into high school, I got cut from the basketball team and went on to play in a Parks and Recreation team that was predominantly male. I was the only female on my team. I did that for a few years. And then I played Army Europe basketball while I was in the military. And then I went on to Puerto Rico, where I played in college, and then got recruited for the semi-professional league. So oddly enough, kind of the challenges that I faced early on kind of pushed me to become a better basketball player, and it kind of paid off, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. When you were in that process, though, I know, like, when I was in the studio doing work, I'm looking for, like, the amount of time or hours that you had to put in as a semi-pro basketball player. Like, for us, we put in, as a professional artist, I put in, like, 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, sometimes on Saturday. So what was it like when you were in that level of basketball?
Oh, we practiced every day. Sometimes we had double practices, but it was a couple hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours of practice time. And actually, at one point, I played on a team that was on the other side of the island, and it was about a 2.5-hour drive. And prior to moving over there for several weeks, at least a month, I was driving 2.5 hours one way to basketball, in which I would practice for 3 hours, and then I would drive 2.5 hours back until I finally moved over there. But we were definitely putting a lot of hours into practice time, for sure.
My God.
It was intense.
Then you mentioned just briefly that your daughter got you kind of exposed to the circus arts. When you got into the circus arts, what was like the 1 or 2 things that really caught your attention? Whether it was like visually or physically, like by doing it?
Well, that was also very interesting. She got involved in the local circus here in Louisville called Turner Circus. And the first year she was involved in the circus, I was there with her every Sunday, all day long for her practices. And I started seeing other, typically mothers or forefathers performing with their children or practicing with their children. And I was like, I can definitely do this stuff. If I'm going to be here all day long, let me jump in and practice with them. And I already knew how to juggle in some ways, just from growing up and playing around. So I was like, I can definitely be a juggler. And then my favorite, still to this day, was the swinging ladders. I loved how beautiful it looked, just visually up there, and the strength and poise that the women showed when they were on the ladders. And I kind of challenged myself to jump on and try it. And the first year I did it, it was so hard for me because I typically get motion sick. And I really did get sick up there on the swinging ladders. So I was like, you know what? I'm not a quitter. Yeah. I'm going to make it to the end of the circus season, and I'm going to perform. And I really hated it. I honestly, truly hated it. And then the first performance came, and the adrenaline from being up on the ladders with this huge crowd, I felt no sickness whatsoever. And I totally, in that moment, fell in love with ladders. And I think I'm on my 5th season now, and I'm helping the instructor teach others how to perform on the ladders now. So it's been quite a journey, and I fell in love. I truly did. Oh, wow. with the circus from that moment.
When you talked about motion sickness, that's what I dealt with for 3 years in the main company. I couldn't even do a pencil turn. One pencil turn, I would get so sick. Or looking at roller coasters when I was younger, like, oh God, this the motion, that action got me. And then I realized that it's also, you can train yourself, that you got to understand what's going on in the middle ear, and how do you balance it out, even if you're spinning one direction. How do you spin? How do you spot when you're having so much force, spinning around or swaying? Where's your still point?
Yes, so I still get motion sick in many of the things that I do, but ladders, I have trained myself. I no longer need to take any form of motion sick medicine or anything. I can get up there and not feel that way. And I'm so thankful for that, because I do truly love it.
Who influenced you in the movement? Obviously your daughter, encouraged you to maybe join into the circus. Is it your daughter, or is there someone else, whether it was in sports or whether it's in circus arts now, who has influenced you?
In terms of circus arts, I definitely feel like it was my daughter, for sure. Just seeing her up there and her stage presence and her beauty and the passion that she has for it and the love that she has for it really is what got me involved, and really fueled my desire to be really good at it. And the bond that we have from the circus arts, and the amount of time we spend together practicing, and her and I practice acro balancing together at home, and we practice juggling. So the bond that was created from the circus, it absolutely has influenced my love for it, hands down.
Got it. You had mentioned just briefly about being in the military. Like you, I was also in the service, but I believe you were more active duty component than I was. So first of all, how did you get into the military? How much time did you serve? And what were some of your MOSs that you had, got educated in or professional at?
Actually, my desire to join the military, I did have a scholarship for college right out of high school, but I wasn't quite ready for that. I really just wanted an adventure. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to do everything that everybody didn't want me to do. So at 18 years old, I enlisted and just took off. And not only did I want to be out there on an adventure, I really wanted, I had a desire for a combat arms position. And my MOS was 14 Tango, which is a Patriot missile launcher. So just really wanting to get out there and see the world. It wasn't exactly what I expected it to be, but I had a great experience in the military. I mean, of course, there's the downside of being in the military and what you experience from it, but the camaraderie and the friendships and the brother and sisterhood that's created is absolutely the best thing I've ever experienced.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to see a friend of mine who was in the service with me I haven't seen this guy in at least 2 or 3 years, but like we've known each other now for almost, it's like 20 years, right? So it's like they're like your second family away from your original family, you know.
Yes, I'm starting to reconnect with soldiers that I deployed with, and I did this last year. One of my closest friends from the military, I reconnected with them, and it was just wonderful looking back and seeing how much they've grown and how much I've grown, and still having that strong friendship and being able to pick up right where you left off.
Got it. Did you do an 8-year commitment, like a 6x2, or did you do, how long was your
Well,
time?
my plan when I joined the military was I was going to be a lifer. I was going to retire.
Ah,
But my
yes.
original contract was 4 years. Then, of course, the little war thing happened, and I deployed to Iraq during the invasion. And after I returned, I decided that college didn't sound so bad after all. And I decided to get out and go to college.
Perfect. And were you in the Army, or were you in the Navy, or?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I was in the Army.
Oh, got it. You know, well, everyone has like obstacles in their life, whether it's like physically, you know, being physically challenged or mentally challenged, or, you know, we have a loss of someone in our life. What's an obstacle that you would be willing to share just as a person that people can hear, and how did you overcome it?
Well, my biggest obstacle that I have faced in my life had to do with the military and had to do with participating in a war that I personally did not believe in, and the effects of the war, and still experiencing those effects today. So I really walked away from my military experience and the war experience, kind of shutting that part of my life out, thinking that I could kind of forget it. But I have not been able to do that, and it really it came back to me in the last several years. So I'm constantly trying to, I guess, push through that experience and that obstacle still today. And the way that I'm doing that is my current work with helping other veterans. So I work a lot with combat veterans at the Combat Vet Center in Louisville. You know, I just recently got certified through this incredible organization by the name of VEToga. Their mission is to equip military veterans with a yoga teacher training, so that you can go back to your community and offer yoga and meditation to other military veterans that may be experiencing some of the challenges that most all of us face from participating in war. So helping others is truly helping me to really push through that obstacle.
Wow, I've never heard of that. It's called what is it? VEToga. Wow, that's really beautiful.
It's a fairly new organization, I guess, maybe a year and a half or so. But they just graduated our first class in November. We were the inaugural group. There were, I believe, 20 of us that are now certified that have went back. The training took place in Washington, D.C. And now we went back to our communities here in Louisville, in Washington, in D.C., in Pittsburgh, San Antonio, just different places across the nation where we are now offering yoga and meditation to military veterans, to their family members, and to the community as a whole.
Oh, wonderful.
So,
There was in the last 2 years, I've participated in some of the Veterans Performing Arts Festivals. I'd never heard of that in my life. You know, different art mediums to get veterans to express themselves in any war or any situation that they've been in their military career, whether they're reservists or whether they're active. And it was really beautiful to see what were the outcomes, you know, via these different mediums, from performing arts, spoken word, movement, and what is out there now for veterans to express themselves, you know, in any way, shape, or form that they feel comfortable in doing so.
yes, another organization that I'm a part of that is along the same lines, the Kentucky Shakespeare program here in Louisville, created a program called Shakespeare with Veterans. And what that is, it's a group of us that meet every Thursday night. We play all sorts of silly games. We, you know, talk as much or as little about our own experience that we choose to. And then we use the words of Shakespeare, the Shakespeare text, there's so many different monologues and such from Shakespeare that talk about war. So we're able to use the text from Shakespeare kind of as a way to express our own feelings with war. And we kind of dissect each piece of the text and talk about how it makes us feel. And then we go out into the community and we perform some of the pieces that really resonate with us in an effort to connect the veterans and the civilian population to allow them to better understand what we are experiencing as military veterans. It is an incredible program, and it has really allowed me to kind of find my tribe, I guess you could say.
Have you brought some of the veterans into your circus arts?
I'm working on that, actually. Next, Circus with veterans.
Cirque vet.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. So, we as people, we get inspired by different things. So what inspires you at the moment, whether it's a good book, like a television series, some awesome music? Where do you feel like you get moments of inspiration from?
It's still along the lines of my work with veterans and with children. Last week I spent the week at the Combat Vet Center, going to each of their groups, talking mostly to older Vietnam veterans about the yoga and the meditation. These are veterans that have had these challenges their entire life and really haven't completely found what it is that helps them. So I was truly humbled and amazed by how receptive they are to the idea of yoga and meditation. Even at older ages, 70, 80 years old, they are so excited about this, and they're looking forward to doing the yoga and the meditation. And that truly inspires me to keep pushing forward with the work I'm doing. And in addition to that, when I go into a school or I teach children, and they come into the room with all the excitement in their eyes and ready to learn and just ready to do whatever I give them, that's really inspiring and really exciting. And it really helps me to push forward with my business and understand that my purpose is bigger than just, having a business and, making ends meet from day to day. So
yeah, absolutely. We touch people's lives, especially those that we've been around with for some longest, right? You have all these military friends, and you know how and think, the way that people in the military think and process information, and the way they view just outcome of life, and you can say, hey, listen, I have something for you that can really benefit your tough times right now. Yeah, that's super empowering.
It is. It really is. I'm thankful for the gift I was given by VEToga. It's offering this to other veterans has changed my life more than receiving the benefit myself.
Got it.
For sure.
If there was something you would love to learn within this year, and then practice it and present it to others, what would that be?
Well, I'm hoping to attend a spatial dynamics training. That's something I'm interested in. It's really understanding the human body and where we fit in space and connecting the mind and the body with movement, and really understanding that, life isn't about just learning or just moving, that connecting the two helps us become happier human beings, I think. That's something that I hope to attend as far as a training. Another one is Circus Arts Occupational Therapy training.
Wow.
I'm hoping to go to that in April. It's in New York. So, I'll spend a few days there working with occupational therapists on how you can take circus arts into the classroom and work with children that have any sort of difficulties or challenges. And this is a great way to build confidence in these children in a non-competitive way. That's the beauty of circus arts, is that we all need to work together to make something beautiful happen, as opposed to sports where you're trying to compete against one another. So those are kind of two things on my list that I'm really excited to learn about and share with the children I work with. And of course, ongoing yoga training with veterans, for sure.
I was thinking, the thought popped into my head when you described the occupation with the circus arts, occupational therapy. Did you ever watch that video? Somebody posted online of a guy from South America having these people who were physically handicapped and disabled, and having them go into harnesses and suspending them in the air and making them fly. Did you see that?
Yes.
Oh.
It's a beautiful video. I did that. It was so powerful.
Absolutely. I was like, oh, a tearjerker. But it's the thing of taking something where some people may view it as like a spectacle, but then showing the beauty of what happens when you can bring it down to the surface level and really get people to interact and say, hey, this is, you build trust, you build confidence, you build drive. Like, hey, I may be physically disabled in this position, but you get me in the air and I can fly. You get me in the water, I can swim.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it comes
Yes.
through different mediums, different practices can help.
So Cassie, tell me, what's the current collaboration that you're in?
Well, currently, first of all, it's definitely been a very, very busy year for mindful movement, and I definitely cannot complain about that. Currently, on a day-to-day basis, I work as a movement teacher, teaching movement, games, and athletics with two fantastic schools here in Louisville, one being the Waldorf School of Louisville, and then the other being Louisville Classical Academy. Now, in addition to daily teaching there, I also coach girls volleyball and basketball at Waldorf, and I have an after-school program at Louisville Classical Academy. So I really enjoy that every day. That's my daily work, daily collaborations. Another one is with several nonprofit organizations here in Louisville. It's affected multiple organizations, but it was my partnership with VEToga, getting my yoga teacher training. That has allowed me to partner with the Vet Center downtown, teaching the yoga to veterans weekly, and that'll start really soon. And with the VEToga teacher training, Kentucky Yoga Initiative also reached out to me, and they want me to teach yoga to active heroes. So I'll be teaching the veterans of active heroes. So these are all fantastic organizations doing great things in our community. Kentucky Yoga Initiative, they have really reached a lot of the community with outreach programs. They're a nonprofit organization, and so is Active Heroes. So I'm excited to be working with both of them. And then another organization I'll mention is CirqueLouis, which is our professional Cirque Theater company here in Louisville, who I perform with. And they also have a social circus program, which is just an amazing program where they go out into schools and they're able to offer circus art experiences to children that may not otherwise have access. So right now we're kind of just in the beginning phases of conversations on potential collaborations that could happen between CirqueLouis and Mindful Movement, allowing us to do even more for children in our area. So that's a collaboration that I'm really, really excited about as well. And then, of course, there's one that I want to mention is an upcoming one that I'm extremely excited about, and that's my collaboration with you and your company, Connect, and we will be offering the weekend movement workshop on April 29th and 30th, and I'm so excited about that. This is kind of a new area of my business, and it evolved naturally by us running into each other and meeting each other through the workshop that you offered here in Louisville. And I really can't wait for that. So I kind of know what to expect, but not really. I don't know if you want to fill us in a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. This 2-day transformational intensive is called Connect. It's a performance partnering and play. It's a great way to give students from all different movement disciplines, whether you're an acro yogi, a circus performer, whether you're a dancer, or you're like a fitness enthusiast, right? Some people who just want to try something new and different. What I do in this 2-day intensive is to get people to think differently as far as the way that they move, the way that they interact with people as in partners, or even utilizing resources in their own space that on an everyday basis they tend to overlook, whether it's props in the room. Oh, I do apologize. Can you hear that noise in the background?
That's fantastic. Love it.
No, I apologize.
Kiddo.
I can hear the kids in the background doing great. Those are my 2 kids. They're incredibly active, and you can't stop
Love
no
it.
matter what. The other thing that I'll do during the weekend intensive is that because they're like 3-hour intervals of intense classes, the last hour, we basically do an informal showcase of our work, of what we've learned Saturday and Sunday to the general public, which is great because it shows people on how just a 2-day process, there really is a physical transformation and a mental transformation, whether it's Physically, they feel stronger, more empowered, or mentally, they start realizing, hey, I have enough resources here of creativity that I can make some wonderful magic in a small amount of time. Basically, I'm an efficiency expert with movement and creativity.
Well, that's great. I'm really hopeful just, with my collaborations and just local connections with different people, with Cirque Theater, with Kentucky Shakespeare, what I do with them, with the, Kentucky Yoga Initiative, with everybody that I know movement-wise. I'm really hopeful that a lot of people will come in and just take advantage of this great opportunity and know that whatever they learn at this weekend intensive, they'll be able to take back and apply it to the skills they already have and just kind of continue to build on that. I think it's going to be really great for everyone. I'm personally excited to add that to my own abilities and experience and continue to build my knowledge. And I'm really excited about bringing you here. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
For sure we will.
Awesome. For some of your goals, like any business and any person, hopefully they like to set goals, right? 1 year out, 3 years out, 5 years. So what are some goals that you would like to do, say, for your business within the next year?
Really just getting more and more trainings, being able to offer a wider range of things to the children that I teach. I'd like to go deeper into kind of trauma-based yoga for the veteran yoga side, and kind of expand in that area. And with VEToga, maybe I get some veterans that are really interested in the yoga and they really take really love it, and maybe they want to end up being yoga teachers also, and I can help them take their next step to doing the same thing where they can come back and work with me here. Really just kind of expanding on what I'm already doing and reaching more people, more veterans.
Is there,
sure.
If there was a word of advice that you like to leave with the audience who's listening, just about being a human, about the stuff that we deal with as a human being, what would that thing be? Whether it's like, hey, you should be mindful of this, or, never doubt yourself, something similar.
Absolutely. I feel what's helped me the most is just truly following your heart. Not following a job because maybe you're going to make X amount of dollars or whatever. Just really following your heart. What I hear them say in Circus a lot is doing whatever makes your heart sing. So I've found that although maybe I took a slight pay cut when I'm moving into my own business, the happiness has truly came from doing what makes my heart happy, helping others. So in business or in life, if you are following your heart, everything else, I think, tends to work out and the path opens up for you, and you randomly meet people that help you along the way, or collaborations happen. And it really all comes from following your heart's desire.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember going on this path and I kept telling people in the service, I was like, you know what? I want to become a dancer. They're like, you're crazy. But it's paid out after all these years, I think just the fact that applying some of my military discipline and focus and drive has helped my professional career excel as an entertainer and as a performer, So this is the time. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum. It's called the Lucky 7. These are the 7 questions that come right off the top of your head. So, what's your favorite drink? Non-alcoholic or alcoholic? It doesn't matter.
Non-alcoholic would be coffee. Alcoholic would be good bourbon.
Good bourbon. Ooh. Okay.
Kentucky girl,
Kentucky girl, I know, from the South. Here we go. Okay, so where would you like to travel to?
South America. I would love to just really travel across South America. I speak Spanish and I love the language. I think that South America would be a great place. I'd like to go to Peru, Uruguay, Ecuador. There's pretty much all of them. I would love to just really travel across South America.
That'd be awesome. Who's your favorite actor?
That one, I'm not able to answer. I can't even tell you the last time that I watched a movie, and one of those strange people that don't even own a television set. So I don't have a favorite actor.
No worries. Okay, are you a cat lover or dog lover?
Dog. Absolutely a dog lover.
Do you have a dog at the moment?
Yes, his name is Charlie. He is the most adorable miniature schnauzer there ever was. Yes.
If there was a person you'd like to meet tomorrow, who would it be and why?
So if we are talking history or past, I would say her name's Deborah Gannett, and she was the first woman to ever serve in the military. Back in the 1700s, she enlisted under her deceased brother's name, and she fought in the Revolutionary War and was wounded twice. I think that's an incredibly brave woman right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we're talking alive, I would probably say the Dalai Lama, just because of him promoting the practice of love and compassion, which is what I feel we may be lacking some of in the world today.
Got it. What language you like to learn? I know you speak Spanish and English. What's another language you like to add under your belt?
Possibly French, just because it's so widely spoken.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good one to tackle next.
And your final question, bum, ba, da, bum, your favorite dessert?
Ooh, I'm not that much of a sweet eater, but I love chocolate-covered strawberries. I could probably eat my weight in chocolate-covered strawberries. My daughter and I make them frequently.
Yeah, we just made them for Valentine's Day, and they disappeared. So.
Yes, very quickly. We did too. Yeah, we make them for every holiday, and then every other day that we just decide they sound good.
Oh my God. So Cassie, can you share with us some of your social media accounts so that people know how to find you? I'm also going to put this, in the description on my website, my blog, but so that others know. You have mindfulmovementfit.com, correct?
Yes, it's mindful-movement.fit.
Yeah.
That's my website, and then you can find me on Facebook under Mindful Movement here in Louisville. It's Mindful Movement Fit also, and I believe that's it for social media as far as what I'm on right now.
Okay, no, sometimes having a lot of social media is a lot to handle.
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn under Cassie Boblittt. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's another one.
Well, Cassie,
yes, I can't manage too much of it.
I know we're like
I'm doing too much in the movement business to spend that much time sitting at a computer.
I totally understand. Cassie, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to our event in April, and I know that we're gonna rock the environment. Woohoo! And I can't wait to share this. I can't wait to share your story over this weekend. So this has been wonderful to hear what you have gone through in your journey as being a former member of the military, and then also what you're doing going forward and helping out other veterans and other people in general through your movement forms. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Edwin. It's great talking to you this morning.
Yeah, be well. Talk to you soon. Hey everyone, this is Edwin Olvera from EdwinOlvera.com, aka the Successful Freelance Dancer. I know it's been a while since my last interview. Nevertheless, I've been out there on the road traveling. I've been to places like Phoenix, Arizona, Sedona, doing work and premiering some of my projects. I've also been in Connecticut and New York, and I'll be on the road again in Seattle coming up soon. With all this traveling, I still take the time to reach out to wonderful artists and guests to participate in my interviews. Well, this one has taken me close to 1.5 years to finally make it happen. It's with a gentleman. His name is Kyle Osier. Now, Kyle is what you call an experienced architect. Basically, what Kyle does is he helps put emotional content to large-scale productions and special events that help in return generate an emotional connection with the audience, and also help supplies funding for the company or a profit for the organization. In this particular interview, you're going to go up and down through this emotional roller coaster with Kyle and myself. We talk about everything from Kyle being an openly gay man and dealing with the struggles, and also
and how we overcame them, whether it was through alcoholism or the loss of a loved one through AIDS. We also talk about his journeys in entertainment and some of the wonderful connections that he's made throughout the world. We talk about events. We talk about being professional as an artist in our field of work, and knowing that as artistic generators and creators, even we too get incredibly tired and exhausted and have to take a break, and then come back with this fresh new look on life and our craft and keep producing work for others to enjoy. Please make sure to leave comments down below, and also please make sure that if you get a chance to meet Kyle in person, that you shake his hand, give him a big hug, and to say thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
All right, Kyle. So when you were growing up, when did you realize, or maybe your parents realized, that you were showing early signs of this creative, like, guru side of you, as in with either the direction, the artistic direction, the large scale movement, creativity, the writing? When did you notice it, or when did your parents notice that?
Okay. Okay, let me just say,